Good evening. Today is Monday, July 22nd, and I'm filming this a few hours after the close. I want to go over the write-up from this morning in the newsletter, what that looked like. I used to do these debriefs more often, and I started doing them again, but I think what I'm going to try to do is maybe just wrap these into a morning video so that I have a short section on the debrief, but then also we'll write into the newsletter and then what we're looking for in the next day. It's a lot better to do that in the morning whenever we have overnight positioning, overnight developments and news and things of that nature to look towards. So for now on, I might go ahead and start doing these in the morning about 9 Eastern, after the newsletter's out, before the market opens. So we'll take a look at today. This is a 5-minute chart of ES. I haven't updated any of my levels except for the signal levels and the high time frame GEX levels, call wall, GEX flip, stuff like that. So let's see, bring in the write-up from this morning. So, generally I have a little bit at the top of the write-up that talks a little bit about some factors that may come into play today before I get to the scenarios. So this morning, first thing I talked about was 0DTE. Will have even more effect on the dealer flows. And I try to bold the parts of this that encapsulate what the paragraph's saying. People like me, sometimes I just want to get the gist, and maybe I see 0DTE and I don't even want to read that part. I don't care or whatever. So 0DTE will have even a bigger effect on dealer flows because of the expiration. The next monthly is a month out, right? So the near term, the 0DTE guys has a lot bigger effect, and we know that there's a lot of money that goes into 0DTE. That's a big portion of what's traded every day. So I want to be aware of that. And then also we should expect increased volatility in ranges throughout this week. We're still in negative volatility. We have low liquidity on the futures. And that leads to increased volatility. And a lot of times it leads to downside. Since we had a lot of downside last week, then positioning is more short already. So I expected the potential probability of less downside, maybe a little bit of upside.
The BOJ offers a dollar supply operation for July 25th to August 1st.
All right, turn my news feed off. So, also noted to pay close attention to the GEX ray and net GEX today. I want to see if GEX would start shifting more positive this week, and it did today. And then the GEX ray, would also give indications of what our window looked like. I'll bring that in real quick so we can see. This is a GEX ray from today. It gave us a pretty good window that lined up with some other stuff we were looking at, which adds conviction to one, our levels, and two, that the market, the 0DT flow is looking at those same areas, at least at the open. So it gave us a pretty good window, gave us an indication that we had some range up. And then we see later in the day that we had the put wall coming up. We had the call wall roll back up, which gave us another late day indication, or at least PM session indication, that there was some more upside beyond this poor high that we had here. So then also talked about, the drama that's going on with President Biden. The only reason I really mention that, I'm not a political person or even much of a macro person, but it's really good to know for me that coming into Monday's session or even overnight developments that may create some volatility, non-directional volatility, or bidirectional volatility at the open that may be perhaps misleading. Then VIX is in backwardation. I thought that I had put in here front month VIX is in backwardation. I did not, so I apologize for that. That's all I really care about. And that's beginning indication to me that something has changed. So as I note here, it could be a precursor to a longer period of weakness. It's a pretty lumpy term, VIX term right now, but this could also be a good opportunity to buy at a discount. I mentioned in here too, the recent trend has been to sell volatility, and we've seen a lot of that. And we saw it today. We saw people coming in and selling VIX or selling volatility. And then the last thing I mentioned, the liquidity. Again, it's highly correlated with longer duration market sell-offs and volatility. So it's something I keep an eye on. I haven't checked it today to see if that has what the book depth looked like. But it's not a big thing. It's just something I keep an eye on weekly. So going into the open, the trading plan, overnight inventory is 100% long. We retraced the uh, the the losses from Friday completely by the time I had written this. I said this could give us an opportunity to trade back to the overnight POC at 55.65. Because this often leads to a correction. So often we'll see overnight move quite a bit, 20, 30 points away from the previous close. See a little bit of correction as we come back to that level before the move starts, right? So on the first scenario, talked about looking for sellers at Friday's high, 56.05. This should give an opportunity to trade back to the overnight POC, 55.65. So looking at this, see, I lost my pin, but looking at this, move this aside for a minute. So this is our 55.65 level. We opened up and had a pretty good move up from the open, even though there was quite a bit of negative delta. They pushed it right up into that 56.05 level. And then after that, we saw a correction and we moved down quite a bit. It's a good move down to 55.76. So at that point, I was looking for the potential for correction for 55.65, which we did not see. Then for continuation, look for 55.55, some additional down levels. We didn't get continuation. We weren't even able to get to that overnight POC. So if we look at continuation above the open, then what I looked at was buyers stepping in at the open or a lack of volume below the open, which is really what we got. Target 56.05, which was our first move up, moved up to that 56.05 Friday's high. Then I was looking for additional move up to 56.15 to 22 area, which was the pullback high and singles from Thursday. That was my target. That was my target for the day. And then if sellers step in at 56.05, look for the trading plan above. That's really the order that this played out in. Because we had lack of selling at the open, moved up to 05 where we saw sellers, and then came up to here, didn't quite get the move down to 65, and then we finally did get that move up to 56.15. Additional buying takes us up to 56.45, the GEX flip, which we didn't get that additional buying. As you can see, that was our high of day, the 56.15 level. You also moved right up into the call wall, and that was it for the day. So target hit, saw some sideways consolidation after that point in between that 56.05 to 56.15 level. So the GEX levels, the high time frame GEX levels, stay pretty much unchanged today, or for tomorrow, I should say. The GEX flip moved down a little bit. Like I said, I haven't adjusted these levels yet for tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and come in, put in our new references from today, and we'll have something ready for tomorrow. And again, I'm going to do a video tomorrow. This one, let's see, is running about 9 minutes. I'm going to try to get these debriefs in and a review of the newsletter each morning and try to keep those down to about 10 minutes if I can, and see if that's helpful. If y'all have any feedback on that, if the aftermarket debriefs are more useful than the early morning video, or anything that I cover you would like to see, etc., just drop a note in the room. See y'all in the morning.